G'day everybody. Now I want to talk about helping, and I want to use wars at the moment that's going on for an example about what can happen when you help. Now I've talked about if you have too much of anything, it's bad. So too much of good can be bad, right? And so when it comes to helping, how much should you help, when should you help, and how often should you help, right? It all depends on the person that you're helping or group that you're helping or country, right? And it depends on what you've been through with education and all that thing and time. It helps you pick the right choice, right? When it comes to those type of things. And so have you ever heard of people butting into your relationship? Say your family member, a good friend of yours, and they talk about, oh, you should leave them, or you should do this, or you should do that. By seeing something or a quick conversation, they give you some advice to do. But a lot of times the advice doesn't work because they come from people that truly just doesn't know you. Right? The best advice I've gotten from people are the ones that are around you constantly. So mostly when I was young, from your brothers and sisters and your mother and all that kind of stuff, or your bestest friends that see you daily for many, many years, right? As they would know who you are, right? And can help you, give you the advice best, right? But even with all that, you could still be wrong. Now, I want to set an example when it comes to being wrong, and how could you see when that example becomes wrong? Well, here's another example. Besides people butting in and telling you should leave a boyfriend, but they don't know all the good things behind the scenes and all that kind of stuff. When it comes to countries, so America's been helping Ukraine, right, to defend themselves. At first, Ukraine needed help to defend, right? Go back a couple of years, pretty much now, right? Or at least a year. You would find that they needed help to defend. That's why they asked for help, because they were unfair and they need help to defend themselves. And American gave them help, and they did defend themselves. And then they got that much help where they were actually can start attacking if they wanted to, or if they believed they needed to create peace. And the only time you attack is when they won't stop. So if you got to a point where you're going through battles all the time, the country helps you, and they won't stop, so you're going through a few more battles, right? Sometimes it's best to attack them, right, and do what they're doing to slow them down. Because if you don't, they go, oh, well, look, he's not doing anything. We're just going to keep tipping daff, and they're only going to defend, right? They're not going to attack us, and because they're not going to attack us and they're only going to defend, we'll keep attacking. We'll take more of a chance, you see? And that's what they'll do. So when you attack back, that sometimes pulls them up and go, oh, shit. They're not complete cowards or pussies, right? They will attack back, definitely, when we keep pushing them, right? And that teaches the bully not to push too much. Otherwise, retaliation comes, or the law comes. Something comes, right? Retaliation. Without no retaliation, it's very rare that they'll stop unless they wanted to. But if they wanted to attack, they will, and they'll take that opportunity. And so when it comes to Ukraine, they had an opportunity when they had help. So when you attack, you either do it for that reason, which Ukraine's already pretty much done. They've attacked back before. They had that tit for tat kind of thing for a while now. And that's why a lot of people would say, well, they're as bad as each other. They should go to peace. They've both warred, right? But then they had an opportunity for peace, right? And then instead they attacked, right? Or when you do attack, you're best to attack and then ask straight away, win that war, give it back to them, and go, see what we can do. Now, can we have peace? That'll be the only way I'd rather attack back, to show a point, and make sure you do that, not take it and then go, we can be like you. Do you want it back, brother? Well, no, what you do is you take it, you go, look, and then you go, here, have it back. All right? And you talk about, if you're going to do right things, we're happy to give it back. But if you're going to be nasty, we're going to take it again, right? And you can do that several times, right, to show a point and to show the world who you are, right? And go, look, we're not scared of them. We could probably take them out, We needed to give them a good run of their money. It won't be cheap for us, but we prefer not to. You know, when you go to those, when bad people annoy you too much and people go, oh, they ain't worth it. That's what countries need to do. They go, well, we can take them out, but we will take millions of our people, and it ain't worth it. We'd rather have peace. We'd rather have a little battle and then go, here you go, have it back. You copped all these stuff. What are you going to do? Can we have peace? I'm a peaceful person. I don't want to war. I want to get along. What's wrong with you? Right? That's what you do. But if you attack and then you go, ha, and then you try to attack more and you go, how would you like if we get you? When it comes to battles, two wrongs don't make a right. You don't look right to everyone else, right? When people come to see these two people fighting, they rock up or they've been watching for a little while now, they might go, well, that last dude who's retaliating now, he keeps bashing up this dude. He keeps doing it all of it, all right? They'll get mixed up on it. And that's because you're doing tit to the tat, right? But you got to show that you're only doing it for a peaceful reason, and you keep bringing up peace. I'll do this, now it's peace. Right? I just did this because you were doing this. Now I just did what you did. But here, have it back. I'm not going to own it like you want. Peace. Right? That's what you got to keep trying to do if you're willing for peace. Otherwise, when anger kicks in, you'll change from that to, oh, I don't care about peace now. Peace will come when I get my revenge. It means I'm going to take out the country, everyone in there. They killed my people. And if you get that, you're just going to get constant wars. That's what we mostly get now. So when it comes to helping, what do we see now when America pulls out helping Ukraine? So we helped Ukraine, got to a point where they actually got better, and then Ukraine wanted to be like them in a way and attacked and were killing civilians and attacking when they weren't strong enough to show a point that they can go all the way. They used shitloads of resources. So if you attack and it takes more resources to win the battle or just as much, then perhaps you shouldn't be attacking. You're not upgrading anywhere. You're not doing anything better at all. If you can attack with hardly any losses, well, then that's an all right risk to take and to show the example that I was talking about before. But you always try to avoid the attack, right? Unless you know you got the full upper hand when it comes to battles. And when you're a person that can retaliate, you've got all the time in the world to make that day right. Right? You've been in defence, you stay in defence until you know when you go to retaliate, it's going to be less losses. You've given it time, and it's the last resort. But the Americans now have pulled out, given money. So when we were giving them money, Ukraine, they wanted to go a fight. It's an opportunity to fight now. Let's go do this. And the Americans were going, well, that's good and all, but the outcome is peace. If you tit for tat too much, you're going to have an all-out battle. We're seeing nuclear power plants getting hit. They're causing problems where their battle will cause problems to everybody, not only their countries not helping us, but polluting and damaging the environment for everybody around us, which can happen when it comes to nuclear power plants, which is why I don't like to recommend to build nuclear power plants, is that have too many faults. The list is huge to the positive, right? So it's just like when you want to be friends with someone, you always look at, or is it worth it? How much positive to negative does it at least balance? There's way more negative than positive, then you're best not to go that way unless it's desperate, right? But now Americans pulled out helping so much. We see Ukraine saying that they want to talk peace again, right? And same with, but they always wanted to talk peace, right? But without the help of extra equipment, you show them that they need to make a better example. It gets rid of their ego. A better way to put it is that if they're getting into their ego in the retaliation of your help, you're best to pull out so they can think again about what they're truly doing, right? Instead of going, I'm okay because I'm going to have this friend help me. It'd be a little bit like when I was watching, what's the show called again? We were watching last night. Having a memory blank. You watch it all the time. Young Sheldon. That's right. Young Sheldon got a friend at school, because he can relate to him. He was a big kid, to bully his brother because his brother keeps bullying him. And then this guy ends up liking him and said that he'll look after Sheldon. So if you got any problem, come and see me. Sheldon's like, oh, okay. And his brother goes to bully him at school and stuff like that. And this guy sees him and goes, come and goes and gets his brother and stops him from bullying and goes, you got a problem with him, you got a problem with me. Right? And then his brother said sorry and stops bullying Sheldon, right? Because Sheldon had this friend. And because Sheldon gets his friend, he ends up, that moment was a good thing to him, but abusing that friendship power. And so when he got home, besides when the friend was just around and the friend to help him out, when he got home, he was threatening to use his friend to solve his issues. So he had to get his brother to get a drink and all these things, and his brother's like, well, your friend's not here, well, I can call him, right? And so he's ego tripping, isn't he, Emma? Right? And that's the whole point that I'm trying to talk about when it comes to countries. And that friend could have been America, you know what I mean? And when that happens, that's what can happen. And so you got to, how do you stop that from happening? Well, that friend needs to go, well, you can't call me up all the time, right? And that usually doesn't happen until he starts calling. In a lot of cases, Sheldon gets his way without the other guy even knowing, right? Because of the other guy's help, and that happens in the background too. So you kind of go, well, if you attack us, we'll have America come and wipe you out. Well, it doesn't mean they're going to help you. It doesn't mean they're going to do such an act, Emma? That's like Sheldon asking his friend to come and kill him. All right? It's a different story. But anyway, I thought I'd chuck that out and have a little chat about wars and how to treat things. Sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes it's not. And if you've been helping for too long and things don't help and things are getting worse, time always gives us the next answer. Right? We do a step and then we wait time to find out if that was the right step. Right? And when it comes to wars and helping out, we find that things can get worse. And I see the same point when it comes to Israel. Israel, if they didn't have help from America, probably wouldn't have pushed so far because they would have known that they would have got attacked without America's help. They even said it. If America didn't tap in, they wouldn't have had enough rockets for the rocket invasion they had. Right? So they should take the advice of America, but they're not really. Right? And when you have such a country that helped you out in such a way and you abuse that and not listen to their advice, well, you've got to expect them to stop not helping you anymore. And as far as I can believe, when it comes to America, America made that war worse too, right? As in, because they got help and they defended, Israel will not stop now. They feel more ego power trip and they're wiping out and they believe no matter what they do, they've got a saying to get around it as people like that. And they believe that as they're still getting help. To find out if you actually liked, you get help, don't you, Emma? Right? They turn up. Lots of people can say, I'm your friend and I'll help you, but they don't really help you. We've got all the people I know, they said they'll come and help me if I ever need it, but they're not here. Right? It's a little bit like countries haven't been allies for wars, but yet they could be going through problems and issues and they don't have to help you in all sorts of things. They might just send you some weapons. And then if you're too wiped out, then they go, well, we can't even send you weapons and we're not going to come and take over your country. We might, but we're in a downer at the moment, you see. And that's what happened in World War II with America and the English, and had one of the best ally connections that you can have. And yet that's what happened. So anyway, have a good one out there. And hopefully countries will do the right decisions when it comes to certain things. And these tariffs and all these kind of things. See, when it comes to tariffs too, you got to understand the fairness. See, I see why did tariffs turn up in the first place? Well, some people might say, some countries might go, well, it's harder. It's a little bit like that Chinese guy go, I needed more money. It's harder for me. I needed more money. I got to work harder, right? And in some countries they do. They don't have the factories. The people is not as strong when it comes to certain jobs. And so they would have to work harder to do the same product, you see. And when they do that, that means they'll need more money, right, for that product. where another country can do it very easy and doesn't cost nothing, right? And they got the machinery too, and they can make it easier than what you can. And so when that happens, they can offer a cheaper product, right, without a tariff. Where the other country, they want to keep up, it's handmade. It depends on how you make things too. It's handmade, right? It can be more reliable. It's like when you buy a handmade car, the Rolls Royce, right? They're very expensive because they're handmade, but they're made well too. So the other ones they can't produce them so much, but they might be made a little bit more different or handmade. And so they need to have a different price for people like in the rich sector or people who want certain ways, like religion, they'll only eat organic or have handmade stuff. And so tariffs help out in that area to help balance out the fairness of the economy and how they sell to each other. So one of them, it takes all that long to make it, they make it that way, and it's the only way they can make it too. And then they're selling that product to the same price as you're making a machinery one, and it only lasts us 4 years, but it's still the same product, right? And they can still go, yeah, it's Computer 2000, right? But it's not exactly the same, right? And that's why tariffs and different charges onto other countries that make things easier, not the same, should be getting charged a little extra, as it can cause problems and issues and all sorts of things like that. And so it's rare that you need tariffs. It's good to have things equal. It's just good to get along, right? But we do create laws because we need these laws to get along. Otherwise, we don't get along. A little bit like what I was just talking about when it comes to Ukraine now. Once they don't get help, right, they might change their mind about doing the right thing. Anyway, and that's in all countries, right? It's the same when the bad guys usually become better because they get to a point where they go, shit, I can't be so bad. And so what you got to try to do is put the bad guys into a point where they can't be so bad, and then that might make them want to change their mind. But anyway, have a good one, and see you later.